Hey, welcome back to BullionIQ, your go-to place for everything finance, crypto, and digital assets. I'm super excited you're here today because we're diving into something truly game-changing for the crypto world, especially for XRP, Stellar, XLM, and Algorand. If you've been following this space, you know that these assets are not just coins. They're becoming the backbone of a new financial ecosystem in Europe, and it's something every investor and crypto enthusiast should understand deeply. So stick with me because we're breaking it all down step by step, and by the end of this, you'll have a clear picture of what's happening, how it connects, and why it matters for XRP holders. So let's start with the big idea. Europe is building what's being called a European ledger, a next-generation financial system that combines tokenized versions of central bank money, commercial bank money, and other digital assets on a single programmable platform. Think of it as a massive upgrade to the traditional systems we know, like T2S, that's Target 2 securities, evolving into a fully DLT-based infrastructure. DLT, or Distributed Ledger Technology, is the underlying blockchain-like technology that allows secure, fast, and programmable transactions between institutions. In simple terms, central banks provide the platform, the rails, while market participants provide the transactions, the trains running on those rails. Now, why does this matter for XRP, Stellar, and Algorand? Well, each of these networks has unique strengths that make them perfect for different parts of this new system. XRP, for instance, is built for high-speed cross-border transactions and bridging between different currencies and ledgers. Stellar is more retail-focused, allowing fast peer-to-peer payments. Algorand is known for its smart contract capabilities and scalability. Together, they form a versatile toolkit for Europe's upcoming financial revolution. Let's make it even more concrete. Imagine you're trying to sell a tokenized asset on Algorand, but the cash payment lives on a traditional banking system like TIPS, Trans-European Instant Payment System. The DLT network uses a smart contract that locks both the asset and the cash simultaneously. Once all conditions are met, both legs are released at the same time. This is called atomic delivery versus payment, DVP, and it ensures security, speed, and reliability across different ledgers. XRP can act as a bridge asset in these situations, connecting separate systems and enabling instant liquidity where it's needed. But here's where it gets really interesting. Ripple, the company behind XRP, has been quietly building partnerships with major banks and financial institutions around the world. From the Bank of England experimenting with Ripple's technology for synchronized currency settlements, to Standard Chartered taking a strategic stake in Ripple, and HSBC partnering on tokenized securities, XRP is already deeply embedded in the financial infrastructure. In other words, while many skeptics were calling XRP a scam years ago, banks and governments were quietly adopting its technology to build the future of payments. And this is just the beginning. Ripple's ecosystem is expanding with stablecoins on the XRP ledger, Euro-backed digital currency projects, and global payment networks designed to move value as fast and efficiently as information moves today. This is not just theory, it's happening, and Europe's unified DLT system is going to be one of the first major public examples of this new financial architecture. For XRP holders, this could mean increased utility, adoption, and recognition as a critical tool in the world's evolving digital finance system, where we simplify complex crypto and finance topics for you. In this part, we're going to go deeper into the technical side of Europe's new financial system and how XRP, Stellar, and Algorand fit into it. If part one gave you the big picture, here we'll start connecting the dots so you can understand exactly how these assets are integrated and why this matters for future adoption. Let's start with the European ledger itself. As mentioned earlier, Europe is evolving T2S, or Target 2 securities, into a full DLT-based single market infrastructure. The goal is to allow central bank money, commercial bank money, and other tokenized digital assets to coexist on a programmable platform. In simple terms, imagine one system that can handle both traditional banking money and blockchain-based digital currencies seamlessly. This is huge because it allows banks, institutions, and even retail systems to communicate directly without slow intermediaries. Now, how do XRP, Stellar, and Algorand connect to this? Each of these ledgers has smart contract and tokenization capabilities. Algorand, for example, allows institutions to create tokenized assets like bonds, securities, or stablecoins and manage them with high-speed smart contracts. Stellar, on the other hand, is highly optimized for retail payments and e-money tokens, meaning it can handle fast consumer-level transactions. XRP, built by Ripple, is specifically designed for high-throughput cross-border payments and bridging between different currencies and ledgers. This makes XRP the glue that can connect separate ledgers while moving value instantly and efficiently. Here's a practical example. Suppose a seller owns a tokenized asset on Algorand, and a buyer wants to pay in cash through the traditional banking system like TIPS. Normally, this would require multiple steps in reconciliation between ledgers. But with a cross-ledger DVP, delivery versus payment, a smart contract locks both the tokenized asset and the cash simultaneously. When all conditions are met, the asset moves to the buyer and the cash is released to the seller automatically. XRP can act as the bridge asset in these situations, ensuring liquidity and immediate settlement across ledgers. The technical integration is facilitated through APIs and programmable interfaces. APIs allow these different ledgers to communicate without manual intervention. For example, EURD, a regulated digital euro, can be programmed to interact with Stellar and Algorand, enabling tokenized euro payments or e-money transfers. In this setup, the legacy banking system retains the cash settlement rails, while the DLT layer handles the assets. This dual-layer system allows seamless interaction between blockchain-based and traditional finance without compromising speed, security, or compliance. Banks are already experimenting with this model. The Bank of England conducted a proof of concept with Ripple's technology to synchronize two currencies across different real-time gross settlement systems using Ripple Connect and the Interledger protocol. The experiment demonstrated how XRP can reduce settlement risk while improving speed and efficiency for cross-border payments. This shows that Ripple and XRP aren't just theoretical tools. They are being actively integrated into major financial systems to solve real-world problems. Major institutions are also taking strategic stakes in Ripple and XRP. For example, Standard Chartered, the fifth largest bank in the UK, invested directly in Ripple. Their goal is to digitize financial transactions and connect business communities more efficiently. Similarly, HSBC partnered with Ripple-owned technology to manage tokenized securities. These partnerships highlight the growing trust in Ripple's technology, positioning XRP as a central piece in Europe's digital financial future. One of the key technical elements in this system is the trigger hash link protocol. This allows assets on one ledger, like Algorand or Stellar, to be locked simultaneously with cash on another ledger, such as TIPS. When conditions are met, both legs release at the same time. This ensures atomic settlement, meaning there's no risk that one party gets their asset or cash while the other doesn't. XRP can facilitate this by bridging different ledgers and providing liquidity where needed, making the settlement process smooth and instantaneous. Ripple's ecosystem also extends beyond Europe. XRP Ledger is being used for stablecoins, including the euro-backed stablecoin, as confirmed by Cassie Craddock, Ripple's managing director for UK and Europe. By allowing banks to issue euro-backed stablecoins on XRP Ledger, Ripple creates a full-stack digital financial infrastructure, from custody and payment to tokenization and settlement. This is why XRP holders should pay attention. XRP isn't just a speculative coin. It's an essential infrastructure asset enabling the future of global finance. Furthermore, the XRP ledger's speed, efficiency, and high throughput make it ideal for cross-border settlements. Traditional financial systems can take hours or days to settle international transactions. XRP combined with Ripple's network reduces that to seconds, enabling banks and institutions to move liquidity instantly. This is particularly important in FX markets, where speed and reliability can save billions in settlement costs and risk exposure. In summary, the European ledger is a programmable, dual-layered system connecting DLT-based assets with traditional bank money. XRP, Stellar, and Algorand each play distinct roles. Stellar for retail payments, Algorand for tokenized assets and smart contracts, and XRP as the high-speed bridge for liquidity and cross-ledger settlement. Major banks and central banks are already testing these systems, and XRP is at the center of many of these experiments. For anyone holding XRP or following Ripple's ecosystem, this is a critical period that could define the future adoption and value of these digital assets. Stellar and Algorand are positioned to play key roles. In this part, we're going to focus on real-world adoption, the growing partnerships with major financial institutions, and why this makes XRP an essential player in the evolving global finance landscape. Let's start with Ripple's strategic partnerships. Over the past several years, Ripple has quietly been building relationships with some of the world's most influential banks and financial institutions. For instance, the Bank of England conducted a proof of concept using Ripple's technology to explore currency settlements across different real-time gross settlement systems. This experiment demonstrated the ability to reduce settlement risk and increase the speed and efficiency of cross-border payments. While many were skeptical of XRP in its early days, banks were already testing and using the technology behind it to solve real-world problems. One of the most notable examples is Standard Chartered, the fifth largest bank in the UK. They have taken a strategic investment in Ripple and even received a seat on Ripple's Observer Board. According to the bank, digitization is a top priority to facilitate trade, commerce, and investments. Ripple's technology allows Standard Chartered to connect business communities more efficiently, leveraging tokenized assets and instant settlement mechanisms. This is not just theoretical. It is already being implemented, which is why XRP's role in these networks is so important. Another major player is HSBC, which has partnered with Ripple-owned technology for a tokenized securities custody platform. By integrating Ripple's infrastructure, HSBC can manage tokenized assets more efficiently, providing both security and speed. What's remarkable here is that these large, established financial institutions are not experimenting for curiosity. They're actively using XRP's technology to transform traditional financial processes, and this trend is only accelerating. Now let's talk about stablecoins, which are a major part of Ripple's strategy. Ripple is actively launching euro-backed stablecoins on the XRP ledger, as confirmed by Cassie Craddock, Ripple's managing director for UK and Europe. These stablecoins enable banks and financial institutions to conduct transactions digitally while maintaining regulatory compliance. For example, a bank in France can issue a euro stablecoin on the XRP ledger, enabling instant payments and settlement across borders. This bridges the gap between traditional fiat and blockchain-based finance, giving XRP even more real-world utility. XRP's speed, scalability, and cross-border liquidity make it particularly well-suited for these use cases. Unlike many other cryptocurrencies, XRP was designed with institutional use in mind. Its network can process thousands of transactions per second with extremely low fees. This is why central banks, large financial institutions, and even governments are exploring its potential for national and international payment systems. Ripple is not stopping in Europe. They have partnerships and projects in multiple regions, including the UK, Singapore, Japan, and the United States. The company is working on global stablecoins, including potential Japanese yen-backed and euro-backed tokens. Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO, has highlighted that these initiatives are part of a larger RippleNet ecosystem connecting payments, tokenized assets, and digital currencies globally. For XRP holders, this is critical because it strengthens the network's relevance and adoption, directly increasing the utility of XRP itself. The ripple effect, pun intended, is visible in the FX market as well. Nearly half of all global foreign exchange volume flows through the UK, and Ripple's technology is now positioned to play a pivotal role in how these transactions are settled digitally. By providing instant liquidity and bridging currencies across multiple ledgers, XRP enables banks to save time and reduce costs. This makes XRP not just a digital asset for speculation, but a core infrastructure tool in the global financial system. We also need to understand Ripple's Internet of Value vision. Unlike traditional payment networks, Ripple's approach doesn't rely on centralized data centers or legacy systems. It functions more like the Internet, where value moves as quickly and efficiently as information. Banks and payment companies are plugged into RippleNet, which allows them to offer superior services to their clients, whether small businesses, individuals, or large corporations. Governance is handled through the RippleNet Committee, ensuring clear rules and compliance for all participants. Importantly, Ripple's ecosystem supports ISO 2022, a global messaging standard for financial transactions. This ensures that XRP and its associated networks are fully compatible with existing and future banking infrastructure. By combining ISO standards, smart contracts, and stablecoins on the XRP ledger, Ripple is creating a robust end-to-end solution for global finance. Let's not forget the role of developers. Ripple has built an ecosystem where financial institutions can leverage the XRP ledger, Stellar, or Algorand to create their own applications and tokenized assets. This innovation layer ensures that new use cases, whether payments, money market funds, or tokenized bonds, can be built on top of Ripple's infrastructure. For investors and crypto enthusiasts, this means XRP's value extends beyond speculation. It is a critical utility asset powering the new financial system. Finally, we can see the global strategy at play. Ripple is headquartered in the US, but has a strong presence in the UK, Europe, and Asia. By building bridges across continents, Ripple ensures that XRP is positioned to become the primary bridge asset for digital money, cross-border payments, and stablecoins worldwide. With major financial hubs adopting XRP and RippleNet solutions, the next few years could be transformative for both institutional adoption and the price utility of XRP. We're going to explore the future implications of the European DLT infrastructure and why XRP has a unique position to dominate cross-border finance in the years to come. Let's start with Europe's vision. The plan is to evolve T2S, Target 2 securities, into a fully DLT-based single market infrastructure. This would create a programmable platform where central bank money, commercial bank money, and tokenized digital assets coexist. Essentially, Europe is aiming to merge traditional finance with blockchain technology, which could dramatically improve transaction speed, reduce costs, and enhance transparency. For XRP, this is an ideal scenario because its ledger is already designed to handle high-throughput, low-cost, cross-border transactions, making it perfectly aligned with Europe's digital vision. One key element of this future infrastructure is cross-ledger interoperability. Imagine a tokenized security on Algorand needing to settle in euros on a traditional banking system like TIPS. Using a trigger hashlink protocol, the asset and cash can be locked simultaneously on separate ledgers. Once conditions are met, both legs of the transaction release at the same time. This atomic settlement ensures that no party faces risk, making cross-ledger transactions faster and more secure. XRP fits perfectly as a bridge asset, connecting ledgers and providing liquidity instantly, which is critical for large-scale adoption by banks and financial institutions. Another major implication is the growing importance of stablecoins. Ripple is already launching euro-backed stablecoins on the XRP ledger. These digital currencies allow banks and institutions to move money quickly while remaining compliant with regulations. Over time, this could become the norm for international and domestic payments. By embedding XRP as a liquidity layer within these systems, Ripple ensures that transactions are not only fast but also scalable and reliable. For investors, this shows XRP's potential to become a utility asset with significant real-world use. The Bank of England and other major institutions have already tested Ripple's infrastructure. Their proof of concept showed that using XRP and Ripple technology reduces settlement risk, speeds up cross-border payments, and enables real-time synchronization between different national payment systems. This means that when Europe fully adopts its DLT-based infrastructure, XRP will already have a proven track record with central banks and financial institutions, giving it a competitive edge over other digital assets. Strategically, Ripple has positioned XRP to bridge multiple asset classes. Whether it's tokenized bonds, stablecoins, or traditional currencies, XRP can act as the liquidity provider. This ability to move value instantly across borders is unique and unmatched by most cryptocurrencies today. While Stellar focuses on retail payments and Algorand on tokenized assets, XRP serves as the backbone for institutional liquidity, making it indispensable in a DLT-powered financial system. Ripple's ecosystem is also global, not limited to Europe. They are expanding into Asia, the US, and the UK, creating a network that connects multiple financial hubs. With over 300 banks already on RippleNet, the system is ready for broader adoption. As countries compete to become crypto hubs, the XRP ledger is poised to take a central role in facilitating cross-border payments, stablecoin issuance, and tokenized asset trading. This global reach adds another layer of strength to XRP's future value and utility. Looking at future innovation, Ripple is actively enabling developers and financial institutions to build applications on top of XRP Ledger. This includes everything from tokenized money market funds to retail payments and e-money solutions. By creating an ecosystem where new financial products can be built efficiently, Ripple ensures continuous growth and adoption. Investors should understand that XRP is not a static asset. It's the foundation of a rapidly evolving financial infrastructure that will grow in utility over time. Another critical point is regulation and compliance. XRP has been designed with institutions in mind, which means it can comply with global standards and regulations. Ripple's partnerships with banks, central banks, and governments demonstrate that XRP is recognized as a trusted and reliable digital asset, unlike many other cryptocurrencies that face skepticism. As regulations around digital assets become clearer, XRP is likely to benefit first because it already meets the requirements for institutional use. Finally, the European DLT infrastructure represents a transformational shift in finance. Instead of relying on legacy systems with slow settlements and high costs, banks will be able to operate on a programmable platform that supports both traditional and digital assets. XRP is uniquely positioned to serve as the bridge and liquidity provider in this new system. This not only increases its utility, but also strengthens its long-term adoption potential. For holders of XRP, this means we are witnessing the early stages of a financial revolution where XRP will play a vital role in a faster, more efficient, and borderless global payment network. In conclusion, the future implications for XRP are enormous. With Europe moving towards a DLT-based financial system, Ripple's partnerships and XRP ledger technology give it a first-mover advantage. From cross-ledger settlements and stablecoins to global adoption and regulatory compliance, XRP is strategically positioned to become an essential asset in the world's new financial ecosystem. The next few years, especially 2026 to 2028, could be the most pivotal for XRP holders as the technology, regulation, and adoption converge to redefine how value moves globally. real-world adoption, and future implications of XRP, Stellar, and Algorand in Europe's new financial system. Now, in this final part, we'll focus on the big picture, Ripple's global roadmap, the expansion of stablecoins, and what all of this means for XRP holders. First, let's summarize the key points. Europe is building a DLT-based financial system that allows central bank money, commercial bank money, and tokenized assets to coexist on a shared programmable platform. This includes both wholesale settlements and instant retail payments, creating a hybrid environment where traditional finance meets blockchain. XRP, Stellar, and Algorand each play different but complementary roles. Stellar for retail payments, Algorand for tokenized assets, and XRP as the high-speed liquidity bridge across ledgers and currencies. Ripple has already demonstrated its value with real-world partnerships. Major banks like Standard Chartered and HSBC are actively using Ripple's infrastructure to digitize payments, custody tokenized assets, and even issue stablecoins. Central banks, such as the Bank of England, have conducted proof-of-concept trials using Ripple's technology to synchronize currency movements and reduce settlement risk. These initiatives show that XRP is not just a speculative asset, it's a key utility asset that is being adopted institutionally. Stablecoins are a major driver of Ripple's strategy. Ripple is launching euro-backed stablecoins on the XRP ledger, enabling banks and financial institutions to move money digitally while complying with regulations. These stablecoins will work alongside XRP as a liquidity layer, ensuring fast and reliable settlement. Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has also hinted at Japanese yen-backed stablecoins, and the US dollar stablecoin market continues to grow. With stablecoins projected to expand into the trillions of dollars in the coming years, XRP's role as a bridge asset becomes even more critical. Ripple's global expansion is another important factor. The company operates in multiple regions, including Europe, Asia, and the United States. And RippleNet now has over 300 financial institution partners. By connecting major financial hubs, Ripple ensures that XRP is positioned to become a primary bridge asset for global payments. This is particularly significant in the FX market, where speed and liquidity are essential. Nearly half of global FX volume flows through the UK, and Ripple's network is ready to facilitate these transactions efficiently. Another key point is developer and institutional innovation. Ripple has created an ecosystem where financial institutions and developers can build on the XRP ledger, Stellar, or Algorand. This includes applications like tokenized bonds, money market funds, and retail payment solutions. By enabling new financial products on top of XRP's infrastructure, Ripple ensures ongoing growth and adoption, which directly strengthens XRP's utility. Unlike many cryptocurrencies, XRP is designed for institutional use, giving it an advantage in compliance, speed, and scalability. Looking at the regulatory landscape, XRP benefits from being recognized as a reliable and trusted digital asset. Ripple's long-standing partnerships with central banks and financial institutions demonstrate that XRP can meet regulatory standards globally. As countries compete to become crypto hubs, XRP is likely to be among the first digital assets to see widespread adoption by institutions, thanks to its proven compliance, security, and liquidity. The future roadmap for Ripple and XRP is ambitious. Beyond stablecoins and cross-border payments, Ripple is exploring tokenization of other assets, such as securities and deposits. This will allow banks and financial institutions to operate on a unified DLT infrastructure, drastically improving efficiency. With RippleNet connecting multiple ledgers and regions, XRP is positioned to serve as the backbone for global digital finance, enabling instant settlement and bridging multiple currencies and asset classes. One of the most exciting implications for XRP holders is the timing of adoption. We are entering a period where regulation is being finalized, technology is ready, and institutions are actively experimenting with DLT. Europe's DLT infrastructure, combined with Ripple's global network, suggests that 2026 to 2028 will be pivotal years for XRP adoption. Early holders could see the benefits of widespread institutional use, increasing demand and utility for XRP. It's also important to highlight that XRP's adoption is happening quietly behind the scenes. While some markets are focused on speculation, major banks, central banks, and governments are already integrating Ripple's technology. The US, UK, Japan, India, and Brazil are among the countries exploring or using RippleNet solutions. Institutions are moving forward without waiting for public approval, positioning XRP as a foundational asset in the emerging global financial system. Finally, what does this all mean for investors and crypto enthusiasts? XRP is no longer just a cryptocurrency for trading. It is becoming a critical infrastructure asset enabling faster, more efficient, and secure global payments. its integration into Europe's DLT system, its role in stablecoins, and Ripple's global partnerships suggest that XRP's real-world utility is growing exponentially. Investors should pay attention to regulatory developments, adoption milestones, and new stablecoin launches, as these events will likely have a direct impact on XRP's relevance and value. In conclusion, Ripple has built a comprehensive digital financial ecosystem connecting banks, central banks, and financial institutions worldwide. XRP sits at the center of this ecosystem, serving as a high-speed bridge for liquidity and cross-border settlement. With major stablecoin initiatives, global partnerships, and European DLT adoption on the horizon, XRP's utility is set to expand dramatically. For holders, this is an exciting time, as the foundation for the future of global finance is being laid right before our eyes.